What's up everyone? Welcome back to another Diesel Dog video, and today I've got a review on my new Snap-on Brushless 3/8 Impact. Now I've mentioned in a few videos I was kind of in the market for another 3/8 because my old one that I've had since like 2010, 12 years or so I've had this thing, finally crapped out. Now I've got this thing set up with the original battery, the 7-volt battery, whatever it was. The stuff's rubbed off on this thing. I don't remember the exact spec on this old battery, but basically right now I've got forward, I don't have reverse. I've had this thing for so long, I'm so used to it. I've loved this thing, and I hate that it finally crapped out and I had to upgrade. But so I was asking around if I should go Milwaukee or Snap-on, and everyone's kind of got their preference. I decided to stick with Snap-on on this one, and I was excited to try out the brushless new Impact that they have. I wanted to stick with 3/8. I don't really need a 1/2 inch. I'd rather just hook up a hose and have the 1/2 inch. The only thing would be on service calls and whatnot. If you're out of the shop, a 1/2 inch Impact cordless obviously comes in handy, but I wanted to keep with the 3/8 because I like having the smaller Impact just to use for zipping stuff apart and whatnot. And that's mainly what I use this for: dash work, engine work, zipping apart radiator cages and whatnot. The cordless comes in handy. This thing was starting to get a little weak, so there were some things I couldn't use it on anymore. But I mean, I used it daily up until its demise. It's my own fault. I dropped it in a bucket of antifreeze. I tried airing it out, but I couldn't get it to work again, so I had to upgrade. Also, being able to make payments on this thing on the truck kind of swayed me, and after I just kind of played around with it a little bit, I liked how it felt and whatnot, and decided to spring for the Snap-on. Like I said, this is the new Snap-on 3/8 Brushless Impact. This thing's only been out for like a half year or so, maybe more. This is the CT861. It's listed at 225 breakaway torque, 150 working torque, whatever you want to call it. I don't know the specs on this old one, but I'm sure it's substantially more than what I was used to on this thing. You can see the size difference. It's mostly the battery giving it its height. It's comparable, a little bit bigger, as you can expect. The body's a little bit bigger. The new batteries are a 2.5 amps now, the 14-4 2.5. So I upgraded the battery as well. I do have another newer battery for my long neck 3/8 ratchet cordless. But I got another battery with this one, worked out a deal with my dealer. And then I'm gonna retire all my other older batteries and probably just keep them at home for spares, but I can do what I need to do at work with just the 2 batteries and a charger. The 3/8 long neck, by the way, is one of my favorite tools as well. I use that all the time. Zipping apart intakes, use them all the time on the turbos, on the 6.7s and whatnot. The long neck works really good. I would suggest if you're going to 3/8 ratchet cordless, get the long neck. I'm not disappointed at all with the long neck. Anyways, we're not talking about the long neck, we're talking about the 3/8. So this is the new brushless motor they came out with. This thing's got quite a bit of power. I mean, this thing gets straight up rowdy. And one thing I wanted to talk about was, I think everyone focuses too much on the power. I don't need my 3/8 to be a 1/2 inch Impact. You know what I mean? I still want to be able to use it daily on smaller stuff, a little bit bigger stuff here and there. Like I said, if anything's too big, I can just get my 1/2 inch Snap-on pneumatic Impact out and zip stuff. That thing's pretty good. So far this thing I'm super happy with. Some features it has is the 3 LED light system, and they're pretty bright. I've used this thing on a clutch job now. Worked pretty good. Up in there it gets a little dark. You can have your light, magnetic light or your flashlight, whatever. But if you want a hand free, you can kind of pull some stuff to the side, click it once, you got your light and it stays lit. This thing did not do that. This thing's got 2 LEDs. It only lights up as you hit it. You can kind of start to push the trigger, but you have to have it held a little bit. This thing, you can just hit it once, stays lit. Definitely like that, stays lit for quite a while too. So we're still going, haven't touched it. And it's bright. Look at that, now it goes out. So that's, you can just hit it again if you need it and stays lit. So super happy with that feature. Power definitely is there. Like I said, I've been trying to use this on anything and everything I'm doing in the shop just to give it a good shakedown for this review. And so far, there's only been a few things I've had to put it away and get either my stubby Mako pneumatic impact out or my snap-on impact. But this thing, I mean, it got clutch bolts out. Didn't do too good once I got a extension on it and like a swivel socket on some tighter stuff. But if you just got a straight socket on there, I mean, it did pretty good with breaking some stuff apart. I'm already getting some scratches on this thing. I noticed the black on the housing, front of the housing, is getting scratched up pretty easy. But as you can see, this thing is just, there's like nothing left on this thing hardly. They're gonna get beat up if you're using them every day. One thing you want on the Impact is some usability. Everyone focuses on the power, like I said. I don't need to be going ham on this thing all day, every day. I mean, I wanna be able to like zip some stuff slowly together and feather some stuff out. And that's where my only complaint comes in, is the trigger responsiveness, I guess you could say. There's like a slight delay. So if on this thing, if I'm feathering real quick, this one, if you're doing it really fast, it's not there. You gotta kind of hit it for a minute. It's kind of weird. I don't know. I tried another guy with the same impact in the shop. His does the exact same thing. I was worried that maybe I had a faulty item here, but I mean, once you get used to it, it doesn't really bother me too much anymore. I'm kind of used to it, but like I said, if I notice, like, if I just hammer the thing really fast, it takes a minute. You gotta kind of give it that like half second. I don't know. That's just one thing I've noticed on it. I'm pretty used to it now. It's not really bothering me, but someone else might not really like that. Like I said, I'm not all the time just taking stuff apart. Like, I'm using this to zip stuff together before I torque stuff, or here and there, like on top of valve covers, rocker covers, you know, real soft. Kind of takes a little easing into and getting used to that little bit of delay, but it's not a big deal, like I said, for me. Some people might not like that, but that is one thing to watch out for on these. A little bit heavier of a unit than this older one, that can be expected. This thing felt really good in my hand, really light. This thing's not too bad. There is a little bit of a weight to it. A lot of it could be the newer battery, but even with the battery out, I can feel that top end is got some weight to it. But there's more guts in this thing. It's heavier duty. It's going to be a little bit heavier. That's all right. I can't really speak to the Milwaukee units or DeWalt or anything. I've only ever used my Snap-on 3/8 here. This is the only one I've ever had. This is the only one I've ever needed. So right now, I'm just upgrading to the Snap-on. You can say what you want about comparing these to the Milwaukee or DeWalt or Mako or whatever. I don't have any experience with those. So that's up to you guys if you want to hash that out in the comments. But yeah, super happy with this thing. You probably saw some clips of me using it in the shop, some real world experience, not just some guy with a bolt screwed into a nut in a vise that's showing the working torque of it. I don't know. Like I said, having all that power in your 3/8 impact is fine. I don't need my 3/8 to be a 1/2 inch. All that power means nothing if it's not very user friendly in real world experience. But yeah, so far I'm super happy with this thing. I've had it a little over a month now, I guess. Like I said, I've been using it every day, and it's been my go-to. I've been trying to give it a good shakedown, use it anywhere I can, on anything I can. I did that with the 3/8 long neck for a while and got used to using that on like everything. Even just like using this thing on some simpler stuff, like zipping off a steer hubcap to replace, you know, pretty handy right there. You don't have to hook up a hose or anything. It's going to zip it off, going back together. You want to be careful because is quite a bit of power on this thing. So light little zip, maybe snug it up with your ratchet or torque it the right way, right? Like everyone does. But yeah, as far as like testing on lug nuts and stuff, I don't really care about that. I just want to be able to use it on like the engine work I do, and some of the stuff, suspension stuff maybe is not going to be so good on these bigger trucks, but like, you know, zipping the stuff up on top of a transmission, doing a clutch job and whatnot, this thing actually worked pretty good. And it got most of the bell housing bolts out of there. So yeah, there you go. Like I said, I mentioned in a few videos, so I thought maybe some people might be interested, but that's my upgrade. And if I had to rate it out of 5, I'd say a 4, just because of that delay. You know, it's only like real fast. I mean, like I said, if you ease into it, you can get used to it pretty quick, but it's there. So this one, I don't know. That's just me, but so far I'm really liking it. I think it's worth the money. It's not super expensive. You can buy the body for like $325, or if you can work out a deal on a promo or something, probably get for cheaper. I worked out a little bit of a deal buying the battery and the impact itself with my dealers, so you know, got a little money off, and I can make some payments and don't have to fork out the money right away. So yeah, that's my review on the 3/8 brushless snap-on impact. Like I said, it's the CT861. These things haven't really been out in the field too long, so as far as longevity, you know, we'll see. It's got a year warranty. Snap-on's really good. If you come up to your year, like send it out a month before your year's up, they'll do a full rebuild on it. A couple guys have rebuilt theirs, and it looks like they just got a whole new unit back. So that's my plan, is I'm gonna use it as much as I can, rebuild it, and then see how long it lasts after that, because I had to rebuild this thing once actually. You can see, I guess you want to call it, the anvil is a little bit loose in there. I was really bad after 5 years using it or so, and then I had it rebuilt, and I've been using it ever since. So one rebuild on this unit in 12 years, this thing's been pretty stout as far as longevity goes, reliability, I guess. So we'll see how this one does. That's going to do it for me in this review. Let me know down in the comments what you guys prefer and what you're using, and if anyone has any bad experience or good experience with the brushless, let me know, and we'll see you in the next video.